I was thinking what
Yeah, what do you think?
the 7 Ushpizin have to do with Sukkos and the Zman Simchaseinu. So when you think of the Ushpizin, the 7 shepherds, you think, wow, they're so lucky. They're so lucky that they are the 7. They brought down all the 7 midos, the 7 characteristics, the divine qualities. They were able to display them, and for man to see that human beings can live in a divine fashion. But, so what's the connection to Sukkos, though? And what we've been saying over the last few days, I think this idea becomes more crystallized. These 7 people were able to live lives of Simcha, as much as their lives were extremely difficult. If you go through each one of the 7 shepherds, how many tsaros did they have? And with all the tsaros, all the suffering that they had, we know about Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov, Bakol, Mikol, Kol. They felt they had everything. They lived, these 7 shepherds lived with Simcha without a lot of external factors to make Simcha in their lives. And if you look through most of their lives, they didn't have a lot to be happy about. A lot of their lives. We don't have time to do all 7. Let's just do tonight's.
Aharon.
Let's look at Aharon. Aharon HaKohen. Aharon HaKohen was born. He's the young middle child. Now we know Miriam was called Miriam. Why? Because when she was born, it was Mar.
Bitter.
The worst part of the Egyptian Holocaust was happening. And Aharon was born a few years after that, 4 years later, in the worst part of the Egyptian servitude. And during his entire life, those first 83 years, all he knew was pain and suffering for the Jewish people. Think about it. Think about what Holocaust survivors looked like after 6 years of Holocaust.
Imagine after 80, 70.
Those of us who have parents who are survivors, who they were emotionally crippled in so many ways. And that was from a mere 6 years. And now you talk 83 years. What kind of crippling effect this is. And Aharon had to probably officiate at so many funerals of horrific deaths of people. And then finally, it comes to the time where Hashem is going to save the people, and he's looking to bring a redeemer for the people. And Moshe is going to be the one that was selected, who Moshe conveniently or inconveniently, for the 20 years or so he was in Egypt, he lived in the palace. And then for a couple of days, he had a little bit of tsaros there, and then he goes out of town for 60-odd years.
So comes in Florida.
You know, and now he comes back, a new face in town. And you figure Aharon should be the one to at least get the payback, to be the leader to take them out. And Moshe himself said, there's no way I could do this. It's too cruel to do this to my brother. And Hashem says to him, he says, no, you don't have to worry, because your brother's going to see you. Vera'acha v'samach b'libo. He's going to see you and rejoice in his heart. So you see that Aharon has simcha, even though he doesn't get the job to be the leader to take the Jewish people out. If who suffered more with the Jewish people as a leader than Aharon? And he does not get the glitz, and he does not get the glory, and you should know that's a very difficult thing. Imagine you're working on a project for so many years.
Years.
You've been working on the project, and then the boss brings in a new guy
He gets
and says he's going to represent the company to the world. After all the years that you spent researching, this is the guy who's going to... You'd be so upset. And Aaron was rejoicing. And because of that, he merited to be the Kohen Gadol. And let's put it this way. In the very beginning of him being the Kohen Gadol, what happens on that very day when it starts? His 2 firstborn sons die. The 2 Gedolei Hador. All the Jews were equal to those 2. Can you imagine your budding 2 sons taken away in the prime of their lives? And Aaron is silent and continues to do his avoda. He has to bless the Jewish people. He has to give them the Birchas Kohanim, which has to be done be'ava, with love. On the day that his children die, can there be anybody who had simcha under the most difficult situations? And that's why, what was the merit? What was the special reward he got for being silent? He got a special command that was given to him and only to him. And what was that command, Sam? The Kohen. The special Kohen. That a Kohen cannot drink wine when he goes into the Beis HaMikdash to serve. And why? What's the bottom line? What's the point? Because, you got to serve with simcha. But he says serve with simcha, but not with external motivators.
spiritual simcha.
It's got to be an internal simcha from inside of you. You're going to be the Kohen. So look at Aaron. Look at what his life was. Can you imagine every day he would go into the Beis HaMikdash, the vision of his 2 dead sons would be before him, and he'd see this, and he would have to live with this, and he would have to live and do his service with simcha all the time. If you really think about it, he's a human being. He's still a human being, Aaron. And to have this kind of simcha.
And the whole thing with the golden calf.
And we could go on and on and on. They get the Torah at Sinai, and then with the golden calf. And if you remember how we learned with the Shvilei Pinchas, how he was willing to take the rap
for the
Jewish people. He'd be willing to take the rap. The easy way out would be to be killed, like Hur, and he didn't take the easy way out. He took the whole blame would come upon him for making the golden calf. Why? To save the Jewish people. All those things that Aaron was involved with, and so much more. Korach's revolution, wanting to take his job away from him. All these things.
Marriage counselors,
but Aaron was the man with simcha all the time. And that's our guest tonight.
Wow.
So each and every one of us knows the misery of his own soul. And knows the things that can hold us back from having simcha. So if you need any counseling
he's here
today, you go to Aaron, have a little talk with him. Go learn a little bit more of what he went through. If he was here, he created so much shalom bias in the world, and everybody told him his problems. Today is the day you tell Aaron, you go, Aaron, my Tyra Zadie, please listen to my problems. And I was going to say, you don't have to worry. What you think isn't going to be good for you, that's what made me a Kohen Gadol. And the Jewish people we're a Mamlechas Kohanim. We're a kingdom of priests. Each and every one of us is capable of being a priest, but we have to know how to have that simcha. So we thank Aaron for visiting us. We thank all the other. If you go through all of them, every night you see but they still had simcha under all those conditions. We should all be zeicha to lots and lots of simcha this year to be able to overcome the challenges, and the mission to be zeicha to a year of simcha, and to be able to greet the Ushpizin when Mashiach comes. Amen. us another niggin or two?
Sure.
Wrap it up for tonight. New Elchanan, would you like to start a song, please?
Fast song?
Oh, maybe we could do a slow one and a fast.